Now in the studio to talk about this, and we were talking about Joe Biden earlier in the programme today, and just how out of it he looks. He looks ill, to be quite truthful.
Yeah, he does. He does. But the Hunter Biden conviction yesterday, you were meant to say, oh, look, justice does work in America. Justice is being done. And then you're meant, they're saying, to fall further into the trap. I mean, filling out, that he wasn't using drugs on an application to buy a gun is a crime, slightly above lingering too long in the courthouse loo. It's all a setup. I mean, if you believe this, there's a couple of bridges over the Hudson River in New York.
A 25-year sentence, a possible 25%.
He's not going to get 25 minutes in jail. It's all fake. It's the coup de grace on Trump's trial. In other words,
that's why I wasn't expecting you to say that this morning, I have to say, because there are a lot of people from the right in America who wanted to see Hunter almost pay the price for what Trump has been through.
And Joe gave them that and said, look, I'm not going to pardon him. They're already saying this. I'm not criticizing the judge. I'm not being rude about the jury. We're not making a fuss. You see, democracy works. We didn't hijack the law. It works. It's in his home state in Delaware, which is the size of Ruddy Hampstead, which the Biden family virtually controls. It was a setup. There was probably, say, a number of pundits, a phone call to Joe. So do you want guilty or not? What do you want? It's all a setup to make it look like Joe Obama Biden has nothing to do with this and Hunter is fine.
Yeah, it is incredible, though. Sometimes you look at what Hunter Biden has been through, and if he has turned his life around, surely he expects some sort of applause for what he has done. So a sick man is not a sick man anymore, and they're going to stick him in jail for 25 years?
But they're not going to. Nobody gets that kind of sentence for this crime, Eamonn. It's in all the media in America.
What are they going to do? What's all this show that, he will be sentenced later?
He'll be sentenced. He'll probably be given a probationary sentence. He probably won't get any jail, the experts are saying in the States. And, all the people on the center and the right are saying it's a setup. It's part of a performance.
OK. Well, if it is, let's park it and see if it actually changes the dial in terms of November at all. Does this mean that Biden's got a clear run to go for president? Or is the fact, as we saw him yesterday, stood frozen as if the man was there in body but not in mind? People very alarmed to see the state of the president yesterday at the Juneteenth celebrations.
Absolutely, that's for sure. And he should not be judged by what his son has done. I mean, they're two totally separate things. Now, what is going to happen is, well, I don't know. But I mean, what the criticisms are is that the real crimes of Hunter involving his computer and alleged pornography and pedophilia, all sorts of terrible stuff, he's not being prosecuted for. He's being prosecuted for a minor infraction, filling out a form. And the impeachment proceedings going on about President Biden for selling influence and all sorts of stuff through Hunter in Ukraine, China, and Russia. Those impeachment proceedings are continuing, but there's no legal proceedings being brought, and that's what the conservatives and the Republicans are complaining about.
He's got more charges to face, of course, more trials ahead of him.
One thinks, but the charges haven't been laid yet. Mm-hmm. There's just the impeachment proceedings.
Okay. What do you think will happen if, and this is a big if, President Biden is elected back into the White House? There was some suggestion this morning from a commentator for Republicans overseas, Greg Swenson, that actually the day after the election, Biden will be shuffled off out of the way and they'll find somebody else to replace him pretty pronto because they don't see him being able to do it for another 4 or 5 years.
There are rumors that have been swirling around for several months and reached kind of a crescendo that Joe Biden is going to stand down for health reasons on the 13th of June. That's tomorrow.
Who would replace him?
Gavin Newsom, they're saying, the left-wing governor of California. He's
never heard of him.
Oh, yeah. Well, he's a very contentious, divisive figure. California has become the U-Haul capital of America, they say. U-Haul's a little trailer you buy when you want to move. You stick it on the back of your car. So loads of people have left California because of the laws of the crime, the taxes, and the rest. He's quite left, very popular with the left and not very popular with the right and the center. And he's the most likely candidate to replace him.
What chance would he have against Donald Trump?
The bookies are giving him a pretty decent chance. He's denying that he's going to replace Biden. He's denying that he has any presidential ambitions, but he's making all the moves that a presidential candidate would make. He's turning up at places, making speeches. He's doing all the things, if you were running for office, you would do. So the Hunter thing, it depends which camp you're in. But basically, the Trump and the Republican camp generally are saying we're not fooled by Hunter being charged with this very minor offense when he has in his home state, with, the Bidens controlling tiny Delaware for generations, he should be charged with the other things. That's not happened. They're just trying to show that they're fair, and the trial of Trump, therefore, was fair as well.
Okay, Roger, got to leave it there. Thank you very much indeed for the look there at the American political situation. We've got to go, Roger, because we've got a man who's got a train to catch.